Hello guys, welcome back to another video on Godric TV. Apologies I haven't done many videos recently with work and just trying to squeeze in as much Tarkov as possible and trying to push Prestige 2 before the wipe hits, hardcore wipe. Haven't been able to do many videos. I wanted to do another video for you guys because I think the 2024 Tarkov guide video kind of helped a lot of you guys out there who were on AMD. I've been playing Tarkov for just over about a year now, maybe a year and a half or so, and I've struggled with AMD settings since the get-go. So I wanted to upload another video and put a new video out for you guys that are struggling with AMD and kind of color settings and AMD optimization settings, and a sponsor that we have today, which is Exit Lag, which I'll go over with you guys shortly. But let's kind of break that down first of all. So as you can see on the game, looks relatively smooth, graphics look decent. I've basically optimized this to the point where it's down to like the 1 point setting where I can see the visibility is clearer, and it's not over sharpened, that kind of thing. So let me kind of explain my situation. Obviously, everyone's got a different PC, everyone's got different monitors. This is just my personal settings, and as I said, AMD seems to struggle because we don't really have the digital vibrance slider, we don't have gamma slider as much as NVIDIA. So let's kind of go over my kind of core settings for now. So game settings, standard really, FOV on 72, kind of average between 65 to 72. That's where I kind of, where my placeholder is, always have been. I have physical cores selected. Don't bother with RAM cleaner. I don't think it actually works personally, so don't bother with it. Graphic settings, let's start from the top. So a lot of people do question me, why the hell am I using 16:10? Why am I not using my native resolution as I've got a 16:9 monitor? I've played 20 years of Counter-Strike, 20 years of CS, and I've gone by, I was playing 4x3 for many years, like probably about 10 years I was playing 4x3. It was at the point where it was just too stretched. It was like everyone was eating Big Macs every day. So I decided to switch to 16:10, which kind of drew it in a little bit, and it gave me more visibility on Counter-Strike. When I came over to Tarkov, I tried 16:9, and it felt like everyone needed a burger because everyone was just too narrow and thin. I find 16:10 a lot more optimized. I find it easier to kind of deal with. Sorry, not optimized. That's a load of rubbish. I just find it easy to see people, especially from distance, especially from close range. I feel like the hitbox is slightly bigger. It might just be my mentality, but as I said, 20 years of Counter-Strike has made 16:10 ideal for me, and it's really useful. So I've just basically stuck with 16:10 ever since. Last year, I found Tarkov was a lot more optimized than it was now in terms of graphic settings, because I used to be able to run texture quality on high, anti-aliasing on TAA high. I used to run most of this on like the high settings, and it looked beautiful. But I've felt ever since then I've kind of just struggled with getting performance, which I'll go over exit lag in a moment. For you guys that don't know what exit lag is, it's basically something that can get you better FPS in games and also get better connections to servers. But I said we'll go over that in a moment. So my current settings on here, texture medium is texture quality is medium. Have everything else on relatively low. I'm not really bothered about shadows. I think shadows are more of an inconvenience than anything else, especially in a competitive shooter. Anti-aliasing, TAA. A lot of people do try and use the FSR. Yes, it gives you more FPS. It's probably, I'd say 5 to 10% increase. So if you don't have the best rig, then I would kind of recommend running this and keeping the other settings as what I've got here, or removing the filtering down here. That's probably going to be a good, like a good idea. The rest of my settings are kind of basic. I know a lot of people run sharpness quite high, but I do run post effects, and my monitor's got a built-in sharpness thing as well. I'll kind of speak about my monitor at the moment. Just want to make you guys aware, this video is completely unedited. This is just me chatting and rambling on and kind of explaining what I'm running and so forth. So hope it helps. I hope this guide helps some people. So sharpness on 0.3, as I said, a lot of people do run it on 0.9, 1.5, 1.8, whatever they want to do. But for me, when I'm using 16:10, I don't want everything super sharp. The main reason being it over sharpens to the point where if you're trying to look through trees, you can't see anybody, and it's just difficult to see anybody. So yeah, this is why I kind of keep mine relatively low. I don't want it super sharp. It just hurts my eyes more than it. My post effects on here. Now, I've been fiddling around with these settings for such a long time, and I'm at a point now where I'm very happy. As you can see with post effects, if you turn it off, it's just over dark and it's really hard to see. With that slight little bit of an increase in saturation, I know a lot of people have their saturation on max. Sorry, they have their the colorfulness on max or the saturation on max. I find that just too much. I find it too cartoony. It reminds me of Fortnite, and yeah, it's not a vibe for me. So I just don't have it on. These are optimized to my own personal preference. Try them if you will. I find it really useful. One of the biggest differences for me, I've tried many of the color grading. A lot of people don't bother with color grading. I like it because without chill wave, for me, it makes everything like have a film on, like washed. Makes you look like you're looking through the screen or looking for a condom. You kind of got that. You kind of got that glazed look about it. With chill wave, it kind of makes it dark where it needs to be dark, but then still bright when you're looking through windows or when you're trying to look past bushes and stuff, or people are hiding behind vehicles. I find these are the best optimized settings for me, and yeah, I'll kind of always stick to these now. I normally change my settings once a week or a couple of days down the line, but I've had these for over a week now, and I am super happy with them. There's nothing I'd want to change on them. They're just what I need them to be, decent. Right, so let's go over the AMD settings then. So I've brought up AMD because I had an issue before when I was previously recording. These are my AMD settings. Now, take them as you will. I kind of did try and change a few of these. I tried to use the enhanced sync, which reduces visual tearing and lag. Doesn't really make much difference. I'm on a 280 hertz monitor. If you find your screen is tearing slightly and you haven't got a FreeSync monitor, I would definitely recommend using the enhanced sync if you haven't. If you've got a FreeSync monitor, wouldn't bother. Just use your FreeSync and make sure it's on. There's two options on there. There's AMD optimized or there's on. Just turn it on if you're playing Tarkov. I was playing the game for around 8 months when I didn't realize I didn't have FreeSync on. I had enhanced sync on, and it was night and day difference. AMD FreeSync is god tier. If you haven't got a FreeSync monitor, I would highly recommend it. It's just phenomenal, absolutely amazing. So I remember on my last video, I kind of went over the MSI settings in terms of being able to increase your gamma. There is an alternative option, which this option is massive. Personally, I don't need to use it because the monitor I've got has got a dark stabilizer on, so it can increase the blacks to slightly whiter so I can see better, especially on competitive shooters like Tarkov. It makes all the difference. So on here, you've got display color enhancement and you want dynamic contrast. So this is very similar to the gamma situation for NVIDIA have, but on here, you've got sliders here and it really does make a difference. You can't see the difference on video, but play around with it, try it. It really does make a huge difference, and I recommend it if you are struggling with your darks being too dark. Go for it. Custom color settings on here. I kind of have these. Let's increase my contrast slightly. I don't know why it was down to 84. Color temperature. Now I find this quite different. I don't think you guys can see it on the screen, but it just makes it warmer if you have it on a higher temperature. Obviously, you don't want to go to the point where you're on 10 because it adds way too much blue. But you're adding a slight bit of blue here, and for me, I think it kind of just makes it a bit brighter. So again, personal preference. This is what I've kind of gone for. I've been scrutinizing these settings for as long as possible, and I feel like I'm at a point now where I switch on the game, I play the game, I enjoy the game, I switch it off, go to bed, and go to work in the next morning. I don't have to faff around with my settings. I'm just happy with the settings that I have. So back on this side, sorry, I kind of deviated over this side because we're talking about FreeSync and continued that way. So waiting for vertical refresh, I turn it off just so I'm getting constant FPS throughout. I'm not capped to 144. There is an option now in game where you can disable in-game FPS, but I've just turned it off anyway. Just completely turn off vertical refresh. There's no need to have it on. And then on here we got just follow these settings if you wish. In all fairness, no generals. I did follow his guide in regards to these settings on here. Surface format optimization, all the anti-aliasing, all the filter levels and stuff. So it's your choice. You can play around with them as much as you want. I'm just happy with these. This is what I've kind of gone for. For you guys that are questioning what monitor I'm currently using, I will show you. I'm using an Alienware 2723DF. This is the exact monitor that I'm using. It's 208 hertz. It's come down a little bit in price in all fairness. But honestly, when I used to have an LG OLED, and it was possibly the worst monitor I've ever owned. Main reason being is because the darks were too dark, and it's obviously OLEDs, blacks are black, and I couldn't see. It was just terrible. And I picked this monitor up. I've always kind of questioned Alienware down the line, and I thought, you know what, let's try it. If I don't like it, I can always send it back. It's not the end of the world. I got it, took it out of the box, changed a couple of settings on the monitor itself, and it was just fantastic. It's possibly the best monitor I've ever owned. I don't run HDR on it, but I do run 280 Hertz. And the difference that it makes, I can't explain to you. It's I've always struggled with finding monitors. You kind of look at the market, and it's just oversaturated with so many different types of monitors. Have a look at this. If you are looking for a monitor, I would definitely recommend looking at a monitor, especially this one. The nit rate's decent on it. The contrast ratio is decent. The refresh rate's decent, and it's 1440p. It's not quite at that 4K mark. Personally, I don't want a 4K mark. I don't want a 4K monitor. I've got no interest in it. My rig is okay. It's not to the point where it's like God tier and it can run 4K and I'm over 150 FPS. I'm not interested. 1440p is just a happy medium for me personally. But even if you're on AMD even if you're on NVIDIA, for some reason, if you're watching this video for AMD settings, there is NVIDIA G-Sync on there as well. But the main reason why I've gone for it is because you've got AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. It's a very good monitor. I'll leave the link in the description if you guys are interested in that monitor anyway. Right. You can see in the top corner of my screen, I've got 230 roughly. Well, it kind of varies really. I could have 230, I could have 150. This thing I'm about to show you, it is a sponsor on my stream. I'm not just saying it. I've kind of tested it. I've played around with it for a considerable amount of time now, and it's improved my FPS tenfold. And I'll go over it now. So this is called exit lag, right? The exit lag, you can basically just connect whatever game you're playing. For me, Tarkov. It's pretty much only Tarkov. I don't play anything else but Tarkov. And you can see my GPU for some reason is at maximum, and my CPU is at 33%. There's different settings on here, right? So you've got connections on here. Let me kind of turn this off quickly, and I'll kind of explain it to you. Oh no, I think I took a picture. No, I didn't take a picture. Let me turn this off and show you. Let's come out of the game quickly. Probably easier to explain. So there's different settings on exit lag, and I'll kind of go over them now. Where are we? Working. Off. Turn it off and turn it on again if you're ever unsure. Damn it. Was not okay. Let's talk about the FPS boost first of all. So as you saw on the screen, I was getting about 230, 250 kind of FPS. Kind of varies. On Lighthouse, I used to get about 120, 150. I've roughly got about 50 to 60 FPS increase. I don't know how it works. Don't get me wrong, I've got no idea how it works, but these are the settings I'm using. So maximizing performance for games, prioritizing processing for the game, minimizing the impact of other programs. Having that on, keeping all cores active means it's utilizing all the cores and all the maximum performance. And then Superfetch on there, which is disable Superfetch to free up RAM in the game as well. And ultimate performance mode for power. Obviously, you're utilizing more power, you're pushing more power through, and it just generally runs better. And I've had a massive increase ever since then, and I don't know why. They basically approached me and said, you want to use this? Do you want to try it out and promote it on the stream? And you can basically give away codes. Like, yeah, sure. That's kind of happened. And I give away keys. I can give away 7 keys a week. 7 keys a week? No, sorry, 7 keys a month to you guys, so you can try it out. There's also a promo code, which is Godric. All the links will be down in the description. I think you get 3 days free, so you can try it yourself. If you guys do struggle with a little bit of FPS, I would highly recommend giving exit lag a go. I didn't want to kind of, I'm not selling out. Trust me, I'm not selling out at all. Far from it. I've just had an absolute dream of a time setting this up. It was super easy. I've never had any issues. And it's just been fluid ever since. Another 2 things. Obviously, these are past the graphics side of things now. I'll show you guys the servers that I have selected. So I've got Europe North, Europe South, Europe East. Now, these servers are my standard servers, but I've also added on 2 American servers. Main reason being why I've added the 2 American servers on. Sometimes my queue times were getting like 5, 6, 7, or 8, even 8, sometimes even 9 minutes, and it was just taking ages to get into a game. The good thing about exit lag is you can see on here, right? You've got my escape from Tarkov settings are set up, all regions. So if you just purely wanted to play on an individual on a continent, you can just select Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, whatever you want to do. For me, I've just gone recommended. And what that does with having these multiple servers selected, it will choose the best, busiest kind of server and the best ping that I can get to that server at the time. Sometimes it puts me to NA servers. Sometimes it puts me to Sweden or Ukraine or even England. Wherever it puts me, it optimizes it to the best server that I can get to. It's simple as that. You basically click apply on routes. Once you click apply routes, you open up Tarkov. Once you start loading into a game, you'll notice it's connecting you to a server which is the best for you, best for your internet, and it will just connect you. Now, give this a go. If you are interested, as I said, go onto their website and get 3 days free. Link will be down in the description. You can get 7 days from one of my codes that I give away on the stream every day. If you guys just come into the stream like, oh, have you got a code for exit lag? I'd love to try it. I'll give you a code. It's that simple. Come by, say hello. If you are interested and you really like the program, you can get 50% off a year plan as well. So take it as you wish. If you don't want it, if you think it's a load of rubbish, I just recommend trying it out. You won't be disappointed. Just give it a go. There's nothing to lose. If you are struggling with FPS, just try it. I can assure you it works. But yeah, that's kind of the end of the video. I hope that guide kind of helped you guys. If you ever got any questions or anything, if you got any issues with your current rig, please leave your comments in that in the please leave your comments in the comment section underneath, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can when I'm not working. And yeah, love you guys. Take care, look after yourselves, and we'll see you guys live on Twitch. Don't forget to follow the stream underneath. Godric _ say hi. I'm streaming all day today. It is the 6th of the 7th, 2025. I'm gonna say hello. Take care.